Yes, people, UFC Fight Night Paris takes place this upcoming Saturday. And as usual, I'm going to be giving you my predictions. But as you guys know, I tend to only give the main card. And I'm going to be sticking with that because I'm looking at the card now and I can't lie, I don't really give a fuck about the prelims and I don't know some of the guys, so why waste my time? Yeah, why waste my time? So we're gonna kick it off with the first fight that is on the main card, which is Patricio Pitbull versus Lucena Chieta. Guys, I've known of Lucena Chieta for a few years now because when I started my martial arts journey, obviously I started with Muay Thai and then maybe after a year, I believe it was, I started doing MMA because MMA was what I always wanted to do. But obviously, I just wanted to, break the ice and get into a martial arts and kind of have a base, yeah. And obviously, as soon as I started training MMA, I was just looking at all the different organizations, like in let's say Europe, yeah, or that's close to the UK. And obviously, I came across Octagon, and I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people won't know about Octagon, but the real MMA fans will know about Octagon. So obviously, I was watching Octagon and found out about a guy called Lucena Chieta. He was a double champ in Octagon. He looks good. He's finally signed a contract with the UFC and he's taking on Patricio Pitbull. This is a featherweight bout. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't really know what to. It's difficult for me to give you my prediction on this fight because Patricio Pitbull is obviously he's been in the UFC now. I believe it's two fights he's had, and he lost to Yair Rodriguez. Actually, let's double check that. Let's actually double check that. Yes, I'm correct. Yes, so he fought Patricia Yair Rodriguez, lost to him via decision. Then obviously he fought Dan Ige and he beat him. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't really know what to expect from this fight. That's why it's hard for me to give a prediction because listen, Chiesa is a very good fighter from what I've seen. I haven't watched too much of him, but I've seen enough of him to know that he's a decent fighter. But what I'm worried about is obviously when these fighters come to the UFC, you see the levels. However, he's fighting a man that's also just recently got to the UFC. The guy is one on one. So essentially, they both have nothing to lose. But I would say, Patricio Pitbull, you have more to lose. You can't let this. You've been fighting in Bellator. You've made it to the UFC now. People have been talking about you for years. People rate you very highly. So listen. I'm gonna lean towards Patricio Pitbull getting the decision just because he has got the experience of fighting in bigger organizations, and the level of competition is probably slightly a bit better. But don't be surprised, guys, if Chiesa gets the decision because he's actually a very good fighter. But I'm going Patricio Pitbull on this one. I'm going to keep it safe. And I'm saying Patricio Pitbull via decision. This is probably going to, I'm going to be honest, you're going to see a very good stand-up fight unless Pitbull wants to mix in some wrestling. But it's going to be a very, very good stand and bang fight. So, I would, when it comes to the technical abilities, I'm leaning more towards Patricio Pitbull. But guys, it's going to be a very interesting fight. Next up, we've got Fereziem versus Fernandez. I don't know how to say either one of their names. I don't know either fighter. So guys, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to skip it. But just for the sake of it, I'm going to go Ziam by decision because he's fighting in his hometown. I don't know why they wouldn't put Patricio Pitbull and Chiesa higher up the card. Next up, we got Modestas Bukauskas. The thing is, I predicted one of his fights before, but I still don't know how to say his name. And he's fighting Paul Craig in a light heavyweight bout. Paul Craig, I just don't know, man. Like, what are you, middleweight or are you light heavyweight? Like, make your mind up. But I'm gonna lean towards Paul Craig in this one. I'm gonna say he gets it done via submission. Paul Craig. The thing is, as much as Paul Craig is a hit and miss fighter, yeah, he's a very good submission artist. So I'm gonna go Paul Craig via submission. We move on to another lightweight bout, which is Balaji Oki versus Mason Jones. I'm gonna go Balaji Oki. I've seen him fight once before, but guys, I'm gonna say it again. Like, you see with some of these fighters, because they don't really do anything to make me remember them or make me like a big fan of them. So I don't remember them, like, or I don't remember their performances. So I'm gonna go with Balaji Oki because I don't really know much about either fighter. But we move on anyway to the co-main event, which is Beno. I still can't say this guy's first name, but Saint Denis versus Mauricio Ruffy. And I'm gonna be honest, guys. For however long this, I don't think this fight will go the distance. Just for the simple fact, Saint Denis has a style where he pushes. He pushes the fight from when it starts. But you see, Mauricio Ruffy reminds me a lot of the prime McGregor, and I do feel like Ruffy will be able to use Saint Denis's aggression against him because his style is so similar to prime McGregor. So I see him possibly catching Saint Denis when he's trying to enter for a takedown or when he's trying to close the distance, because Ruffy has the exact same stance as prime McGregor. He keeps his lead hand primed in front of him, engaging his opponents. He's very good with the spinning stuff, just like McGregor was. So, my only concern is if Saint Denis can get it to the ground. The thing is, Saint Denis was doing decent against Dustin Poirier, but obviously he brought out the dog in Dustin Poirier, and that's when Dustin Poirier shines. But my worry is when it gets to the cage wrestling, the cage clinching, and the takedowns. I'm intrigued to see how Ruffy does, because I don't really think he's had someone of this level of wrestling test him yet. Although I do think Ruffy will win, it's going to be interesting to see that side of stuff if Saint Denis can get him to the ground and take him down. But I do feel like if he was able to get Dustin Poirier down, even though Poirier was able to get up, you could see Saint Denis is strong, man, and his wrestling pressure is very good. So, but I'm gonna go Mauricio Ruffy. Listen. Saint Denis is finishable, so I'm gonna go with Mauricio Ruffy by a finish, by knockout, and I'm gonna go second round knockout. Yeah. It might not make it past the first round because of the way Saint Denis fights, and I do believe Ruffy can snipe him. But if he doesn't snipe him in the first round, it's definitely going to be a second round finish. I don't see this fight going the distance. Lastly, we've got Imavov versus Chayo Baralio. I still don't know how to say his name. And guys, this is going to be an interesting fight. I still need to watch more of Baralio because I can't, even Imavov, but from what I've seen of Imavov, he reminds me of a bigger Jack Della Maddalena in terms of the way he boxes. So I do think Nasruddin Imavov will do very, very well in terms of the boxing exchanges. But it's going to be an interesting fight. Whoever wins this fight potentially gets a title shot, so it's a must-win for both of them. Let me have a quick look at Baralio's. Damn. 17-1. Imavov is 16-4. Let me have a look at something quickly. win. That was decision. Okay, of course you KO'd Craig though. Submission. Unanimous decision. So this is kind of a big. Listen, I know people are gonna say, "Oh, he fought Cannonier," but Cannonier is on the way out, guys. So we're not gonna count that fight. This essentially is Caio's toughest matchup, realistically. Guys, it's hard for me to give a breakdown on this one because I haven't seen too much of either fighter. So I'm gonna give you guys my predictions now, but I will release another video again during the week. I'm gonna go and do some film study and watch both guys and see see the things that I see what I can potentially see happening in their fight. But as of right now, guys, I'm going with Nasruddin Imavov to win via decision, and he's gonna upset. That's my predictions. He's gonna cause an upset on this card and get the job done by a decision. That is my breakdown and predictions for now. Obviously, stay tuned and make sure you have notifications turned on because, like I said, I will be doing some film study and I will be updating my predictions because some things may change. So like and subscribe, guys. Comment as well. Keep hitting that subscribe button. Turn notifications on. It's big games, man.